See, we made some progress here. Finally got the bed in. So for my pattern, I went 2 1 2 2 1 2 for screws. So for the middle, I just did one down this 2x4 here in the middle. That was a pain in the butt. It was about a 1/16 of an inch too wide, so I had to try to shave some off with a circular saw, then use the dead blow hammer to wedge it in there. So that's definitely not going to go anywhere. You see, I got the front on because I'm putting these on after, because otherwise the measurements, it was like too tall and I didn't want to rip a bunch of boards down, so I'm using 1x10s. We're going to use some brackets to secure in there. But what I'm doing on here is just using some self-tapping hex head screws to screw it into the top, and then we'll use those brackets on the inside. Once again, we're running into the wiring tube. You can see right here. So I'm going to have to mark this on each end and then measure the height and make a line across and notch out these sideboards for that, but I won't have to do it on an angle. It'll just be a straight cut, so it shouldn't be too hard. And then get those in. I'm going to do the same thing with these sides. Going to use the brackets on the inside and then go through this outside here with the self-tapping screws. I'll get them on, show you the brackets once it's done. I mean, it's just me cutting some holes and screwing some screws in, so it's not going to be very exciting. So you'll see me when I come back. Show you putting these self-tappers in. So you can see them right there, they just drill themselves in. I'm just going to stand this up where I want it. You can see how I'm using these self-tappers. Got one right here. See it pointed in there, just drills itself through. Just going right up to the middle here. That's it. They just cut their own hole right through. Just going to do that all the way down the length of the board here. Finally got all this done. It's taken a few days because doing little bit by little bit. See, got the sides on, got the floor in. See all this, the little brackets I put in just to hold stuff in place. Don't want stuff falling out. Don't want animals sticking their heads out through the sides, nothing like that. So that's done. So now we can get back to the cage and weld in those broken spots and get it fitted on here. Gonna get on that now while it's still cool this morning and I'm still in the shade. So yeah, cage is right there. Just got to get the pieces up here, get them fixed, and get them on here. Hauled one of these up here, just using the trailer as a table. A couple things we got to do before we can start welding is I got to cut the piece of steel that's going to go in here. Take a grinder, kind of clean up the edges so I got a good place to weld. We're going to cut this piece off so it's straight across here, and this can just rest right on the trailer sides. And then over here, see if you can see it there. Can't really see it. Had a spot that had kind of rusted out here. All I did is take the grinder and grind it out, and then took some rust converter, sprayed that in there. Stop it from rusting anymore. It's still a C channel, it's still pretty solid. Water will just drain out of here because it's going to be on the bottom. It's no big deal. Just put their rust converter in there and ground out all the old rust just to stop the rust from spreading. So should be good from now on. I just wanted to do that while we had it upside down here. Another little bit there rusting out, but that shouldn't be an issue. I'll hit that with some of the rust converter. Just use this stuff, Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer. It just takes, it's mostly just surface rust, turns it into like an oxide primer. And it's not foolproof, but it slows stuff down. So I'm gonna hit everything that I weld on today with this too, just to kind of give it a coat of primer, a little bit of paint to cover it up. It's black, this is kind of a rust color, whatever. This whole thing doesn't match anyway, so. All right, let's get grinding and cutting and get back to welding. this piece we'll use if we ever got to use it on the back of the red truck, old red. We'll figure out a way to reconnect it temporarily. It just kind of protects on the sides where the tailgate is. But I do not need it for this, and it was hanging down too low, getting in the way. So it's out of the way now. I'm just gonna take the grinder and kind of clean this up, hit it with a little bit of that rust reformer, and then we can get that piece cut and weld it in. So we got a little piece of 1-inch square tubing, had some of this left over from Sheep Tractor 1.0. Just cut it to length. I'm just gonna slide it in here. Just a hair smaller, but that gives us room to get the weld in there. Got these welding magnets, just Harbor Freight. I use a lot of stuff from Harbor Freight, especially this cheap little stuff. It's cheap. You're not going to use it a lot. It's not something that you're going to have to rely on for your business. And plus, these are just magnets. So those hold it in place, and get the weld in. We'll tack it in place and fully weld it. Alright, so those are a little bit ugly, but I'll grind them a bit so they look a little bit prettier. I gotta flip this over and do it on the other side now. Well, those welds aren't gonna win me any awards either, but they're definitely better than the other side. Just had to warm up a little bit. So just gonna grind off the little bit of splatter and paint this up, and then we got to bring that other front piece where we broke the weld, straighten out that bar, and get it tacked back together. Went ahead and I ground off the old welds here. This is back about right, perfect spot. Actually doesn't look too bad for being as bent up as it was. So we're gonna have to get this welded back into place, and I'm just throwing some lipstick on a pig. I'm taking some of that rust reformer and I'm spraying down all these panels too, just give it a little coat of protection. I'm going right over this lichen stuff, so it's probably going to look like crap, but whatever, I don't have time to clean it all up. But we're going to get that on. We'll get all these coated with a little bit of that rust reformer. I think I will. I do got to run into the store. I'm going to buy some kind of panel to go over this, because as we're going down the road, the truck will be kicking up gravel and stuff. I don't want it going through and hitting the animals. So I'll put some kind of board panel, some kind of plastic, metal, something on here, just to protect the animals as well. One thing we're going to have to do before we get everything put together is drill holes through the bottom of this to bolt it down to the trailer, because I can't get a drill in from this side, so I'm going to have to do it from this side. So what I'm going to do, I'll measure out on the trailer over there roughly where I want them, transfer those measurements over to here, and drill up through here. Then when we get this whole thing put together on the trailer, we can kind of shimmy it out of the way, get the holes marked, get them drilled through on the trailer, and bolt it all down. Thing about drilling this tubing, it likes to catch the bit. You just gotta go really slow. Quick tip, you saw me struggling on that first one. I'm getting it through. Take a smaller bit and make a pilot hole. Gotta get you lined up, then you can take your bigger bit and go back through. So got everything painted, dried, put on here. Put these on loosely to get them where we needed it. We're gonna go ahead and replace all the bolts. All of them are bent and rusty. So we gotta tighten these down. Just using some lock washers to keep them in place. Now that we got that all tightened down, I do have to put a brace across the back, because otherwise these sides are gonna wobble and pretty bad. All I did is grab some angle iron and some holes. We'll throw that in the back and some existing holes, and then we can figure out where we need to put drill all our holes here as well and get it bolted down. I have to go down the line and mark where I need to drill through the angle iron on here. Problem is, pencil's too long, so we'll fix that. We'll drill with our pilot bit and then step up until we get to the right size. Sorry, I'm all wet. I've been messing with the animals, got water all over me.
Good.
So, to protect from spray and rocks and everything here, we got these HDPE, high density polyethylene plastic. These plastic sheets, just a couple of them. Just gonna use those self-tapping screws to put them on like this. I'm just gonna wrap them in the middle instead of worrying about cutting it. So yeah, I'm gonna have my assistant here help me hold these, and I'll get these put on. See, we got the panels on. They're about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch thick. That should be enough to stop rocks and spray if it's raining, stuff like that. So that'll protect the animals when they're in here. Just got to run to the store and get some thinner bolts for the front of the sides on this, and then to hold in the bar that's going to go across the top. I'll show you that when we throw it on. That should be the last part in this as well. We are all finished up. Got our bolts in everywhere. The whole thing wobbles a bit, but that's fine. The whole trailer does that. So I put this across in the back to keep the sides from separating. Just a piece of angle iron there. So now all we got to do, we can still use the fold down ramp. So that's the back of it. I'm not using the ramp, the gate that came with it. So this is all set, ready to go. Got our plastic to protect the livestock. Nothing we're gonna have in here is gonna be any taller than that. So finally, mission accomplished. Got that done. Please like and subscribe. Keep growing our channel. Keep coming back for more stuff like this, and to see the animals that actually will go in it. We'll have updates on all our sheep, our goats, chickens, rabbits, all that fun stuff. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.